Hello again. In today's lesson, we are going to learn how to write simple and compound sentences based on pictures. If you are going to write sentences based on pictures, the first important step is to brainstorm the words that are related to this picture. For example, if we look at this picture, we may brainstorm some words like cell phones, people, talk, messages, inventions, important, new, brands, system, communicate, smart, easy, send, complicated, expensive, help, buy, and like. When you look at these words, you are going to find out that they belong to different parts of speech. The second important step before writing your sentences is to organize the words you brainstormed previously under the suitable parts of speech. For example, for nouns we have cell phones, people, messages, inventions, system, and brands. The verbs are talk, send, communicate, help, buy, and like, while the adjectives are expensive, important, new, smart, easy, and complicated. There are different types of sentences. There are simple sentences and compound sentences. But what's the difference between them? Now, let's start by talking about simple sentences. A simple sentence, also called an independent clause, contains a subject and a verb, and it expresses a complete thought. In the following simple sentences, subjects are in blue and verbs are in green. Let's read the sentences. Now, let's read sentence number 1. Some students like to study in the mornings. Once we look at this sentence, we can find out that students is the subject, while like is the verb. The second sentence is Sana goes to the library every day. In this sentence, the subject is Sana, while the verb is goes. Once again, a simple sentence contains a subject and a verb, and it expresses a complete thought. Now, students, let's write some simple sentences using the words we brainstormed previously. The first sentence that you can write can be, cell phones are important. In this sentence, the subject is cell phones, while the verb is are. The second sentence can be, people talk on cell phones. In this sentence, the subject is people, while the verb is talk. The third sentence that you can write from the words you brainstormed previously can be, I bought an expensive cell phone. Once you look at this sentence, you will find out that the subject is I and the verb is bought. Now, let's move to the second type of sentences, which is compound sentences. But what's the meaning of a compound sentence? A compound sentence contains two independent clauses joined by a coordinator. The most common coordinators that you can use are as follows: for, and, because, but, or, and so. Before using these coordinators, you should ask yourself, what does each coordinator indicate? Each coordinator indicates a different thing. For example, for and because indicate reason, while so indicates result. And indicates addition, while or indicates option, and but indicates contrast. Except for very short sentences, coordinators are always preceded by a comma. Once again, in the following compound sentences, subjects are in blue, verbs are in green, and the coordinators and the commas that precede them are in red. By using different colors, I help you to analyze the sentences in a good way. Once we look at the first compound sentence, which is, I tried to speak Spanish and my friend tried to speak English, we'll find out that this compound sentence includes two independent clauses. The first clause is, I tried to speak Spanish, while the second clause is, my friend tried to speak English. Let's look first at the first clause. In the first clause, the subject is I, and the verb is tried, while in the second clause, the subject is friend, and the verb is tried. The two clauses are joined together using a coordinator, which is and this coordinator shows addition. The second compound sentence is, it rained heavily, so I stayed indoors. The first clause is, it rained heavily, while the second clause is, I stayed indoors. The subject in the first clause is it, and the verb is rained, while the subject in the second clause is I, and the verb is stayed. The two clauses are joined by a joining word, which is so. This word shows or indicates result. It rained heavily. As a result, I stayed indoors. Now let's write some compound sentences using the words previously mentioned in the table. The first sentence that you can write can be, cell phones are useful inventions because they help us to communicate. As we see, this compound sentence includes two clauses. The first clause is, cell phones are useful inventions, while the second clause is, they help us to communicate. In the first clause, the subject is cell phones, and the verb is are. In the second clause, the subject is they, while the verb is help. We join the two clauses together using because, which indicates reason. The second sentence that you can write using the words in the table is, some cell phones have smart systems, so we can keep in touch worldwide. In this sentence, we have two clauses, which are, some cell phones have smart systems, and the second clause is, we can keep in touch worldwide. In the first clause, the subject is cell phones and the verb is have, while in the second clause, the subject is we and the verb is keep. We use the coordinator so, which indicates result. The third sentence that you can write is, new cell phones are smart, but they are complicated. This sentence includes two clauses. The first clause is, new cell phones are smart, and the second clause is, they are complicated. We join these two clauses using but, which indicates contrast. Once we look again at the first clause, we'll find out that the subject is cell phones, the verb is are, while in the second clause, the subject is they, and the verb is are too. And now, students, let's do an exercise. In this exercise, you are going to look at the picture and you are going to take some time to brainstorm some words related to it. So, the nouns you can brainstorm can be girl, umbrella, rain, and clothes. On the other hand, the verbs you can write are hold, wear, stand, and feel. The adjectives you may use or write can be rainy, cold, heavy, and wet. Now, students, let's write some simple sentences describing the picture using the words in the previous table, which you brainstormed. Remember, the simple sentence consists of the following: a subject, a verb, and an object. So, let's apply that using the words you brainstormed previously. The sentence can be, the girl holds an umbrella. Once you look at this simple sentence, you'll find out that the subject is the girl, the verb is holds, and the object is an umbrella. Or, once you write a simple sentence, it may consist of a subject, a verb, and an adjective. For example, the rain is heavy. Look at this sentence to find out that the subject is the rain, the verb is, and the adjective is heavy. The first sentence that you can write is, the girl wears heavy clothes because it is cold. Once you look at this sentence, you will find out that it consists of two clauses. The first clause is, the girl wears heavy clothes, while the second clause is, it is cold. Let's look at the subject in the first sentence. It is the girl, and the verb is wears. In the second clause, the subject is it, and the verb is. We use the connector because, which shows reason. The second sentence that you can write is, it is rainy, so the umbrella is wet. In this compound sentence, we have two clauses. The first clause is, it is rainy, and the second clause is, the umbrella is wet. In the first clause, the subject is it, and the verb is. However, in the second clause, the subject is the umbrella, and the verb is too. We connect the two clauses using a connector which is so, and which indicates result. This brings us to the end of our lessons today. Wish you all the best and thank you for listening.